Good afternoon, Victor. Mr. Victor, how are you?
I'm very fine.
Oh my word, you scary.
I'm just waiting for my victim to come.
Oh my word.
Ooh, things will gonna happen in this dungeon.
Oh my
Are
word.
you ready for some action?
I don't know if I must run or what.
Oh, espérate un momento. Oof. Well, remember that King is about fantasy and King is about playing. So that is also part of the play.
Okay. So this afternoon I want to talk to you about master and slave. What does it mean? And what do you do?
Oh, what I do. um, well, hello, everyone. I'm lucky that I have found someone where I can explore the master and servant, master slave type of relationship, which is not really easy to find. You can find most of the time somebody where you play, like a sexual play, but go in further into a relationship is basically another level. When we talk about master slave, you are talking about relationship. So how relationship work in kink idea, you know, like any other relationship, vanilla relationship you can have with your husband. We also have relationship, and that has a little difference. I mean, we do things like every normal people does, but we extend some time the play outside the dungeon. So you fall into something that's called 24/7. And the extreme of 24/7 is TPA, which means total power exchange.
Okay, wow.
So that is a lot of concept game in there. So you can ask anything you can. Sorry, I have a pussycat they want to come in. She was doing some noises, so now sorry, I'm getting in my. I just finished this share. It's my torture share. I was working this week in some adjustment, but now it's ready for a session.
So you're
Okay.
looking for a slave. This is what you're saying.
No, the slave is there already. He's coming. But what I was talking about when we talk about master slave, we talk about relationship. I have a cat.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay.
Poor
So
little
ask me.
cat. Poor little
Yes,
cat.
I got the cat tail. Now the cat has a service. Okay. How this work? You say to me, no?
Yes.
Yeah. As a beginning, well, master slave fall under the concept of the DSM, right? And we know that the DSM is bondage, domination, submission, discipline, and sadomasochism. In there, we can find the relationship, the type of different type of relationship. And the master slave is very interesting, which is different to master and servant. The master slave, when you talk about slave, and I have to make it very clear, you talk about ownership. This means that you own that slave, that this slave is yours, and he willingly wants to be yours.
Okay.
So then you enter a kind of really intense type of relationship with rules that we agree. It's not like I decide to do whatever I want. It's we do what we want. And it's that we do what we want is basically explore all sort of a side, not only in a human kind of type relationship, two-person relationship, but also exploring our sexuality into the dark corners of kink, if you want. Well, this is what we want, what we do basically. So yeah, and the servant is a bit different because you don't necessarily own the servant. The servant is pleased by service. You know,
Okay.
I have in this moment two other submissive. One I just interviewed yesterday. He wants to serve. So through the trip of service, you find pleasure, right? And they serve a master, a dominant that hold the space for them. Because when you go into service, go in a very special mindset. You know, it's all about mind setting.
Yes.
And through that, you find your own experience.
So if you talk about service, I understand the slave and the master, but if you talk about service, what would they offer you as a master? I mean, what kind of service do they provide?
You can have service like, let's say, very much connected to the practical life, household servant. So you have
Yes.
kind of a butler in your house, somebody that come and clean your house, somebody that serve you in all sort of way. They help you to buy stuff, have a car that move you around. He is
Okay.
taking care of this master, and he find the pleasure through that. You know,
Okay.
so it's sometime can go into sexual pleasure service, but it's not necessarily part of the game. Sometimes a master never touches his servant because it's a servant.
Yes,
You know,
I think I never thought about the concept that there's two different concepts actually. You know, you always think a servant and a slave is exactly the same thing, and
and submissive.
it's not. Yeah, and then there's the submissive as well. Yeah, so
It's not the same.
there's three.
The submissive, and then you have the submissive, the servant, and the slave. And maybe the slave is a TPA kind of relationship, which the servant has become a pet or an object.
Okay.
You know, where it's a beautiful, huge world of games,
Yes.
but it's very important that people mix. Also, the people mix bottoming, like sexual and gay community, sex top and bottom. They think bottom is submissive.
Yes.
It's not the same thing. It's many submissive that they don't bottom because it's not about the sex. It's
Yes.
about the state of mind.
Yes.
It's about surrendering, not about the sex itself.
Yes.
Some of them, they want to be fat, let's say, but also, for example, I was in forum. I got a lot to forums of kinky people here in Europe, and I was a submissive guy. Um, he was into latex and mummification, etc., and he say, "I'm submissive, but I'm not the bottom." So what happened basically? The guy is totally bounded with like a mummy, whatever, you know, completely there. The master does all thing. The penis is outside. He pleasure the boy, and he basically use the boy penis. So
Wow.
he doesn't do it to the boy. You know, it's the other way around.
Yes.
So
Wow.
it's not the same. Sex, top and bottom is something that belong into other category. Then you have the submissive, and then you have the servant. The submissive can be for an afternoon, for a year, for a life. It depends on
Wow.
the choices.
Okay.
And then you have the servant, and then you have the slave, which you own as
Yes.
yours property.
Yes. And what would you do with a slave? I mean, is it to use as a sexual object, or as to try the new chair? What would you do with the slave?
Oh, really? You want to know? Oh, I'm gonna be
Please.
sure. Really? Wow. Yes, I can show you around what I have. Okay. My its relationship with my slave goes in all directions. You know, it's not only sexual, but also it's personal. You're friends, but it's your slave in the same time.
Okay.
So, when we fall into a scene, a session, which also has the element of the sexual context. So then you have also other experience like bondage. I do a lot of bondage with him. I do a lot of photography art because I like to do videos on photography. So he served me as a model. He served me and all sorts of practical things I need. It's necessary. There's a beautiful help because I'm not such as practical as he is. So he is a fill a very important gap. But also we can fall into experience deep into a relationship, like you can go into 24/7, where actually we are in a 24/7 relationship. He is in contact almost every day with me. He had to check in and check out. It's about control, and there that person is happy with giving up that control. That person has his own life, their own story, which I don't participate, but we have the link where we are in contact all the time. So sometimes we have a weekend trip, three-day session or 7-day session, where you explore all sort of kinky technique. With him, I explore a lot. Most of the things I learn, well, I read books, I watch, mostly I read a lot and study, but through him is my practice. So I explore everything you could ever imagine.
Wow.
So imagine.
True,
I
that's
have very little limits. See, you want to ask me something?
There's so many things that I want to ask at once.
Well, this, look, what is this?
Well, it looks like a cock.
Yeah, but what is it? What is the function?
I don't have a clue.
This is a chastity device. It's the same as this one, which is also a chastity device.
Yes.
And it's the same as this, that is also another chastity device. Chastity is a huge, in this moment, and the mainstream is a huge play. Most of the people use it like for a very short period of time. But what is this? Is actually a control of the sexuality and sense of when you are allowed to have pleasure with your penis or not, when you are allowed to come or not. So you get control over it. So, for example,
so does it mean that you cannot have erection?
yes. And then now you have a hard on, and it can be very painful.
If you do get a hard on, it gets painful.
You should try once, and you see what happens. But this is a very effective control game. Okay. You do it also willingly, yeah? And yes. I will hold the key holder. I'm the key holder, and my slave is the one that holds the cage. Okay. So that I do it a lot. For example, he will come next week. So tomorrow he enter into 7 days of chastity device. He wouldn't come, be allowed to get out of this chastity device for all this day. So what you do, actually, you collect energy. You collect sexual energy. The play begin not the day that he comes. The play begin in the moment that he put it on. So already is working in your mind. So that is what's interesting about Kink. It's not the plates, it's not the moment itself. It's the whole process.
So the day when he makes the appointment, this is when it starts?
Yes.
Or
that start. And then, for example, then, okay, I have the key, but key, you can see it here. Here, oh, momento. Here is the key to open it. He has another one. He has another one with himself for safety, right? Yeah. But I know that he will not do it.
Yes.
Because if he get out of the cage without my permission, well, what we are doing here, what is this for?
Yes.
You know?
I thought you're going to say his dick's going to fall off or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, if we do it for real, no?
Yes.
And what is important, that psychologically, he knows that there's a key holder. And that's how it works in the mind. And make the connection and the relationship very strong. You know, you can even imagine how strong can get.
So just to find out, where does Tantra fit in here? Because, you know, we're talking about constraint and all this, but where does Tantra fit in? Is that keeping him away from sexual pleasure then, or what?
Basically, what will happen here, that he will not be masturbating.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So you are saving the energy for the moment when it's going to happen. Actually, as a tantric masseur, when I have a client, I ask them 3 days before they come, not masturbation. Minimal 2 days. And if you decide to come today and you masturbate in the morning, better don't come.
Yes.
Because this word doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
Because tantric massage, when you do lingam massage, works better for the orgasm, multi-orgasm, okay? When you are not having, where not you spending your energy.
But it's also not, you're not going to let them ejaculate either.
During the play.
Yes, during a tantra massage.
No. During the tantra massage, it's not. It's not about the ejaculation. It's about the moving multi-orgasm and how I can play with my energy and the body. Okay. You know, because if you in the tantra massage, if you give them, you break their spell, because it's about magic. You break the spell. Yes. You know, so most of the time I get a lot of clients. I guess you do as well. You have the experience. Oh, I feel, you know, in Netherlands, I feel klaar komen. It means I want to come. Sorry, but it's not about coming. Otherwise, you go to a prostitute, which is fine. I have no problem with prostitute. Sorry, prostitute. But what I do is something else. It's about how I can work with my sexual energy, how I can do something else, transform myself through control of my own needs. You know, the need, they don't control you. Wow. You understand? So there's interesting, and that for sure. And Kink is already there. Eh? Yes. This is a type of extreme cam control. So when I learned Tantra, I was like, wow, that is like cam control.
Absolutely.
You know?
So we've learned today about master and slave, master and servant, submissive, and then the chastity. What the hell? It's a lot of things.
You would like to experience one day that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. I think I have to. I mean, there's no question about it.
How so? How would you imagine that?
I don't know. I've never seen one of those gadgets, and I cannot imagine what it will do for a person if you not allowed to take your penis out, or to feel your penis, or not to having an erection.
Well, you can pee, huh? For example, this one.
Yes.
You see, has a little thing you twist. So you pee.
Okay.
You can wash. This one, the other one, is better for the shower, you know?
Yes.
And it's some devices that has, without the lock, has another type of lock. So it's less bulky.
Okay.
So you can go to work and nobody notices that you have one.
Okay. Well, if you walk through a metal detector, they can know what is.
That is a big problem. There's always when someone travels from different, you know, in the airplane, in the airport, you know, they can be like a. So there you can find a plastic one.
Oh, all right.
You see?
Yes.
So this is it's a huge culture in October, in internet you can see all over. Something is called Locktober. So it's a contest worldwide where people get locked for a month.
Oh my word! I didn't know that.
My slave get for 1 month. No, so after 2 weeks you get so used to it that you forget.
I don't think I will forget anything.
The first day is very difficult,
Yes.
and the most important thing is you find to find the right fit. This is the most difficult part
Yes.
because you never know which will be the, because if your balls are here, the idea that the balls doesn't fall, or the cage falls,
Yes.
So then the difficult part is to find the right ring.
Okay.
And everybody has a different size, so you can need to really check out what are the right size. And very often happen that you need to buy 2 or 3 of them till you find the right one.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the shop won't allow you to fit it on.
It's some of this, for example, if you want to try it in plastic, they sell it with different size rings.
Okay.
So you can have like 4 or 5 different choices of ring until you find the one. This is very practical and it's not very expensive, it's very cheap. Now, why you want to do it is very important for. This is the thing. You do it because, well, first you want to have experience. Then because, for example, in your case, you will say to your husband, as a vanilla boy, hey husband, I want to explore chastity device. So you buy one, you use it, and you give the key to your husband.
Very interesting.
And the husband will hold it for you, and he will have it in his necklace. And in this moment, he will become a property of him.
Yes. So actually, you become the slave then. You belongs to him from that moment.
Yeah, let's say you become the slave or the submissive or the servant. But in this case, you will be the submissive.
Yes.
And then he will hold it for you. And experience what happened. It's a try. The most difficult part to find a trustworthy key holder.
Yes.
Absolutely. An internet exists website. It's called Emalock, where you can have your cyber key holder.
Wow.
Through there, you can find a way where the computer will tell you a codex, a special codex to open up or not.
Wow. If somebody wants to find out more about Locktober, do you have a link?
Well,
is there a website or how does
it's not a website, but yeah, you go to Twitter, you put Locktober in Twitter, and you will find hundreds of people into that.
Okay, great.
So it's a lot. But this is one of the games. You asked me what we will do with the servant, with your slave. Well, this is one of the games we play very often.
Oh, well. And that is to have control over the dick.
Precis. And it's another game, is with the butt plug.
Yes.
Control remote butt plug. So you put the butt plug to sleep during the night, and you have in your telephone up. So you wake up in the night, and you push buttons, and the butt plug start to vibrate inside.
Very interesting. Yes.
It's a lot. You can find wonderful things.
Mr. Victor, thank you so much for this afternoon, for this wonderful information about a slave versus a servant, and then also about your toys. We will make another video soon. And
yes,
thank you very much.
I have more toys.
Remember, we are both part of the Be Tantric online online forum or community, and you can find us there. The link will follow afterwards, as well as a link to Mr. Victor's website, where you can actually contact him directly. Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor. Have a nice afternoon. Ciao. Bye. Bye.